Hello patrons, just want to do a quick video. I haven't done an update with you guys for a while. First of all, happy summer. Hope you're all having a nice summer, nice 4th of July weekend, last weekend. I'm here in Newport Beach on the mooring ball on my boat. Give you a quick visual. So the sun is kind of going down. That's why if I shoot in this direction, you won't even be able to see me. So I'm gonna have to shoot in this direction. I was actually talking to one of our patrons named Don, and he and I have been brainstorming about some modifications I want to do to the boat. And I was gonna make a video just to show him what I'm talking about. We got people yelling over here. I don't know what's going on, but you know, I'm here in Newport Beach, and it's about an hour from sunset, and you get a lot of partiers this time of day. This is Balboa Island right behind me. You can see the small kind of beach area they have at Balboa Island. Anyway, I was talking to Don, and I wanted to make him a video just to show him what I was talking about, because I wasn't really able to describe it over the phone and text message. So I figured I would just make that video and share it with you guys, and I need to make more of this patron-only content. So let me show you what I'm talking about here with this modification. The boom on the boat is too low. It's even when I'm driving without when I'm not sailing and I'm just motoring the boat, the boom is like in my face. And you know, it's been like this since I owned it. And I just recently thought, you know what, I need to modify this thing. Imagine this. So here's where the boom is. I'm driving the boat. This is the steering wheel, the helm, and this is me. And I'm going, you know, I'm doing kind of like this kind of thing whenever I'm wanting to look. Here's kind of what you'd see from literally my eye view right here. So that's literally my eye view right there, or maybe I switch to this side, you know. So it's right at my head, and I'm wanting to modify it, and I thought maybe it'd be sort of difficult, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult, to be honest, because right where it attaches to the mast, right here, so that's the boom. It's a very beautiful wooden boom, but you have this attachment point on this track. So I can show you better. This track that goes to there and then down here, so it actually is just on almost like a sliding situation. You know, I could lift it with my arm. You can see, I could push it up there. There's plenty of room. So it's just a matter of getting a little bottom piece right there. That stops it. You see it's screwed in right there. So what I need to lift it, and then I would need some type of like bottom clamp, but up here. So I'm investigating how I might be able to do that. Now then, the other side of the boom is actually quite interesting. So the other side where I need to modify is going to be this. It's like a weird kind of crutch. I've never seen this kind of thing before. But so it has, first of all, it has a topping lift. There's a topping lift here in addition to the halyard, right? There's the two ropes. Okay. And that, you know, will keep the boom up. The problem is with this wooden boom being like so heavy, and the fact that it's wood, apparently you're supposed to have this middle section also supported. And you might have seen other boats with like, they're called gallows. So actually Don told me this, he taught me this word, boom gallows, which a lot of these older boats would have. And it's like an archway, wooden archway with like 3 cutouts, and you could put the boom in any one of those cutouts. This doesn't have that. This has this strange crutch situation, which is, you know, attached here and here, and then it goes up. It has this like rope kind of thing, and then it goes up, and then check this out. See if you can see that. That's how it attaches to the boom, like literally, you know, literally like a crutch. And so obviously a big modification would be I would need to extend this thing up a foot if that's what I want to have as far as my clearance. So I need to either have another one of these steel crutch things built that's a foot longer, or I'm trying to think of some other ideas. That's why I was talking to Don, and also you guys, if you think of anything, you know, what else could I have that would support the boom in the midsection but it would be taller. So anyway, these are some brainstorming ideas if you guys can think of anything. And not only whenever I'm driving, it's quite dangerous whenever I'm actually sailing and you're tacking and you've got people my height, or they're maybe standing up on the this area here, or even sitting here. It's still pretty low and people have to really watch it. So that's another reason I really want to raise it that foot, because look here, if it was a foot taller, here's where it hits my head. Take my hat off and show. So literally I'm flat-footed right now, right there. So if it was 12 inches higher, it'd be here. That would be like ideal. Anyway, that's the latest kind of idea that I have that I'm trying to maybe modify. But all right guys, it's a couple days later and I am going back out to the boat and tell you some of the solutions that I have figured out, and I want to get your opinion. All right, let's go. Okay, we're back on the boat. I want to start from the mast and the boom, and I'll show you what I'm doing there. So I was able to lift the boom. I actually used the halyard, the spinnaker halyard, and I was able to lift this up to kind of get a better visual of what I'm dealing with. So there's this track here. I've raised it because it was down here. I've raised it to there, but you can see it's actually a double track situation. This is actually where the sail slugs go from above, and then this is where this slide for the boom goes here. There are screws there. So what I have fabricated, I've gotten some aluminum, a strip of aluminum. I ran to Home Depot, I found a strip of aluminum. This is what I found. And it is 1.5 inches by 1/8 thickness. It's a little more than 1/8 thickness, but it's similar in size to this here, this track. So I've gone ahead and cut that aluminum strip down into a piece like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually place it here on those two screws. I'm going to get longer. I got longer screws that are stainless steel to go through this and that piece to secure it, and then that will hit this slide like that, and it will not allow it to come down further. So I've measured it out. That's an 8-inch. That's an 8-inch increase from previous, because before we're talking down here, I'm raising it here to that point. So let's go ahead and do this end on the mast, and we can see if we can at least get that sorted out, and then we'll move back to the cockpit and I'll show you what I've decided to do there. And again, this stuff is just brainstorming. I've been brainstorming with Don. I was also considering, one of those slides, track slides that you would have normally on like a Genoa track. Although what I would have to do is somehow drill a hole, probably another hole here. And I didn't really want to modify it in such a way, whereas when I saw that there were screws there, I knew that I could just use those existing holes for this technique here, and we'll see how it works. If I need something more substantial, I might then look into something like a track slide. Anyway, let's get this going. Here's my piece of aluminum. It had these little tiny screws here, so I've replaced them with the same stainless. All right, so this appears to be now very solid. Let's go ahead and drop it down and see how it does when it's resting on there. All right, let's do it. Okay, so now it is actually sitting on my piece there, and it cannot come down any further. So that lifted it 8 inches right there, and it looks like it's going to be sturdy. Let's see. And that's on good. That's solid. And with that weight of that is even more solid. And we still have, so there's still 5 inches above it can go. Oh yeah, I I forgot to mention an important detail, because some of you were probably thinking, well, if you raise the boom, then when you raise the sail, you're gonna go all the way to the top with the head of the mainsail, and it won't have enough room. Well, I have thought of that, because this sail, actually when you raise it, it is like 12 inches from the top of the mast, so there is a lot of room to work with. And in fact, I was reading up on why this thing has this slide, this old school style. That's because it's to raise, when you do raise the sail, and if you raise it higher, it will lift the boom. So there's no reason, I think, to have it, yeah, I mean, why, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to have it down here for storage and then be able to raise it up when you're sailing. Why not have it kind of halfway while sailing and still have, there's still going to be clearance at the top of the sail for the sail to be raised the entire way up. So I am feeling pretty good about that. It looks pretty solid. Let me know what you guys think of that. It is, I was able to screw it in there really good and solid, so. Okay, so let's move on to the center of the boom. So it did have this crutch situation was there. So this is only a temporary fix. So doing some more research, the boom gallows and the crutch, they're really for safety, to keep the boom from swinging, and also offering that additional layer of support, because you only have your topping lift. So on more modern boats, you have the boom vang, which is a lot of times the big hydraulic piece that would go here, right from there to there, and that's called the boom vang. This does not have that. That would be a couple $1,000s probably to add that. I know there's another thing called a boom kicker, which is cheaper, but this boom being so heavy, I mean, you guys probably don't even believe me how heavy this thing is. You literally have to get under it with your shoulders and do a squat to lift the thing. It's crazy. So what I've done temporarily as a safety mechanism, I've put my halyard, so that the halyard was in the back there with the topping lift. So now I've got the topping lift still doing its thing back there, and then I've got the main halyard here as a safety, and also to distribute the weight a little bit, because I've heard a few other things, like potentially the wooden boom could bow over time if you got only the support on both ends. So that's why I want this middle support to kind of have even weight distribution. Also the fact that it will be a safety for the topping lift if the topping lift were to blow out. Anyway, it's not pretty, so I'm probably going to replace it with something slightly different. It crinkles up the cover there and the sail underneath. It's not good to have that long term because the sail is so tightly crinkled under there, so I'm going to try to fix that in some way. If you guys can think of something, let me know. So what I've also done, here comes a big ass barge coming through, so it's going to be noisy. So I'll try to get through this before he comes in. So I've taken out this. I've added this main halyard here. I've got the topping lift back there. Now my other concern was that like I said, I've got my topping lift still on here as the main support. Looking back, got that. I definitely don't like how it goes. Yeah, look at this. I mean, it looks all funky because it's all, anyway. So then the other concern is the reason people have these boom gallows, or that crutch in my case, obviously to keep it from swinging when you're either on the mooring, just motoring around the harbor. You don't want that boom swinging around, so that was a nice placement for that crutch. In order to stop that, I have added a little addition to the shroud. It's called a shroud cleat. I'll show you that. That's a stainless steel shroud cleat, specifically used for, you can cleat off a small line, let's say for your flags or whatever. I don't think you want to use a lot of weight on these things, so if it were like heavy seas or whatever, I wouldn't use that to hold my boom. I would use more of a boom preventer attached to something else here, more hardware on the deck or something. But I think at the mooring, it serves its purpose perfectly fine. And I've tied a string here, or some, what do you call it, paracord. I've tied that to it for now. I'll see if that's strong enough, and I'll also see if it holds up in the weather, in the sun. And I've just got it tied down to a stainless steel clamp here. Obviously also the main sheet, keeping it pretty tight, prevents major swinging as well. So anyway, that is the project. Wanted to just share that with you, get your opinions of that. What do you think? Maybe I could have done differently. This is temporary. I mean, a lot of this stuff, this project didn't cost me much at all. So if you got better suggestions, I will definitely take those into consideration. Right now, I think it's a good fix. Oh, well, the true test is, let me show you the improvement. This is crazy. Whenever I'm driving the boat, let me see if I can stick this camera somewhere. Here's the true test. Check this out. So here I am driving. I've got nice clearance. I've got nice clearance above me. This is like night and day. So that is like night and day difference, and I'm really happy with it. As long as I don't get too much swinging back and forth. There could be some other ways to help stabilize it. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Again, thanks for your support with Patreon. Like I said, I was literally just going to put this video together and show Don, just because we were brainstorming about the ideas. Don is one of the patrons, but I figured I'd show all of you guys on Patreon. Maybe we can brainstorm. Maybe you guys can have some ideas. I may put it out to all of YouTube in a couple weeks, just to see if it may help somebody else that has the same issue, or maybe somebody's going to give me feedback and say, oh, you've done that wrong, do this. And because I'm all about improving. I don't have all the answers, as all of us with the sailing, in the sailing and boating community. We try to tinker on our boats. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we learn from things. Sometimes we create things that maybe are helpful to others. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Just a little update. I actually found this really cool strap. It's called an axle strap for towing vehicles. Found this at Home Depot, 10 bucks. Replaced the rope that was all ugly here, and I actually cut a couple little slits here in this cover. And I did a little sewing. I'm gonna do some more sewing to reinforce it better. But that is much better than before. You can see that my cover is in bad shape anyway, so it didn't really hurt it much to do those slits. But I'm gonna do some additional reinforcement with stitching, and I'm liking that a lot better than obviously that rope. It's much cleaner. So there's the visual from the water. As you can see, kind of improved it a lot as far as the height of the boom.